All right.
Hello. My name is Willem van der Merwe, the thorn in your side, the one, the only, the just Willem, and I'm here with.
Hi, it's me. I'm the Sokodoane, or Sego. And yeah, we're here this is the Those Guys podcast, the first one, or the first trial. I don't know. We'll see if it ends up getting published.
Yeah, you'll know if this one is published or not. Depending on if you're hearing this or not.
Yeah. And basically, this is a, what is it? Everything about movies.
It's mostly gonna be movies and such, film industry. I think that's basically our vibe. We might delve into some other topics if we feel like it. I don't think today is gonna be one of those days. It might be. Maybe I'm.
Although, I just heard, so there's this thing going on with Armie Hammer at the moment.
What, the sexual thing?
Yeah. So apparently now.
But quickly, go into detail about these sexual allegations he has, just so that the audience knows what you're talking about.
Yeah, oh come on, they can do their own research. Anyway, so this Army. No, I'm joking. There's a whole cannibalism. What is it, like cannibalism fetish thing that he has going on?
I thought originally it might be some sort of war thing, where it's like swallowing and stuff. But no. This is cannibalism. He wants to cut up and eat, but not want. Fantasize about. Allegedly.
You see, so now this is what makes it pretty interesting because because his agent and his I don't want to agent and agency. What's bigger than an agent but
super agent.
No.
Special agent.
No man, it's like his agent and his publicist and something else. Production house or something like that. But everyone involved, the bottom line is everyone involved with him has just absolutely just dropped him. And that makes me think, because from what we know so far, I don't think that's enough for everyone who's been with him throughout this entire journey. I mean, he's young, he's good looking, he's a decent enough actor. I don't think anyone.
He has good taste. I mean,
not.
No. That was a joke, guys.
Yeah. Has all dropped, and that makes me think that he's done some pretty bad. He has some pretty bad stuff going on in the background that hasn't yet surfaced.
That might be it.
It's either that or people are just completely allergic to any kind of controversy whatsoever.
And that's also like with the whole, state of things.
Yeah.
And like you don't want to, even if you might think, this isn't that serious. Like
No,
a lot of other people will think it's serious. I mean, because we don't know if he has, because there's some people who have done like that, like, cut off a tiny piece of you and like test. There's no confirmation that he's done that, right? Because if he has done that, then it would make sense.
Not that I haven't done all the research. So let's just say I read one or two headlines.
Welcome to the Those Guys podcast, where we read headlines and then talk about the subject without reading
any context whatsoever. Because that's the best way to have a good and healthy conversation about things.
Yes, you do a deep dive, but you don't need to do research first and see if the pool is deep enough for your dive. You just go ahead.
You just go right for it, kiddie pool or ocean, and then you'll find out when you get to the bottom, if you get to the bottom.
Hey, it might be a really deep subject or deep pool, and then you just go down. Maybe that's the whole podcast. We're just going to talk about Armie Hammer and his cannibalistic ways, allegedly. But I think we're actually at the bottom of this one.
Yeah,
we figured it out.
All right, so what are we gonna talk about first?
Well, let's do a week in watching with those guys. Yes, that's an excellent name for a segment.
All right.
Well, I guess usually it would be a week in, but a week of. But now we can do more since this is the first podcast, So there's no record. But yeah, so what have you been watching recently?
Don't act like you don't know.
What? No, it's not like we live in the same house or anything.
Yeah, it's not like we watch half of the movies that we watch together right here.
I mean, you just watched something without me.
I did say half. But anyway, yeah. So what the show that we watched was Alice in Borderlands, and that was pretty fire.
Is it Alice in Borderlands or Alice in Borderland? Because Alice in Borderlands makes me think that Alice is in that game, you know. Alice is finally in that. Yeah, but yeah, no, it's Alice in Borderland.
J- Japanese, right?
Oh, ooh, Sega. Your first podcast and you're already gonna out yourself as a racist. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking. No such things here. No, it's Japanese.
Yes,
It's definitely Japanese. You don't even need to think about it. It's Japanese.
yeah. I'm just gonna double check anyway.
Yeah. Just in case I'm so sure of it, and it's like, I don't know.
Of course, it's Japanese. It was based in Tokyo.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. So, yeah, that was a damn good show, man. Willem, I'll let you go and explain the synopsis without any spoilers.
Without any spoilers. Okay, so you know the story of Alice in Wonderland? It's completely not like that.
Not even an element.
There is a guy named, well, not Alice, but Arisu, which is, you know,
Alice in
how
Japanese.
yeah, basically, because a lot of times the L's would turn into R's. What's with that face?
Hey, man, you just gotta tiptoe around that.
No, I mean that's just with the accents. It's not.
It's only the first episode, and you're gonna out yourself as a racist, Willem. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, it's three friends, and then they end up in an alternate, or not even alternate, maybe the same but just different Tokyo, and then they have to compete in games to survive.
Yeah,
And then the story goes to places from there that we'll decide in the future if we actually are going to do spoiler discussions. I don't think we're doing spoiler discussions now, since we actually want you to watch the show without any,
yeah,
spoilers.
yeah. It's like Hunger Games, but for no reason. I mean, not yet. I mean, we don't know why anything has happened.
I mean, if you watch anime and some random ones, think No Game, No Life, which I don't think you've seen, right, Sega?
I was gonna liken it to Death Parade, but longer,
Yeah, it is.
but with a single story.
Actually, I would say yours is a better shout. But No Game No Life is basically they go into a world where every decision is made by competing in games, and so it's all about games. But these types of games are actually more Death Parade. Yeah, so it's like a big scale Death Parade.
Yeah.
Parade, not parade.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a damn good show.
It's really good.
It's really good. The games are creative. They're really sadistic, but they're really well thought out.
Oh, did you remember to say sadistic?
What? Yeah.
Yeah, it's sadistic.
Yeah, pretty messed up, but really well done. The characters are compelling. It can be a little over dramatic at times.
Think basically live action anime, but done well, because a lot of times, like the Death Note movie, a lot of people say, "Oh no, this is terrible." I haven't seen it, but
It's pretty mediocre.
yeah, see, but this is a live action anime. Not that it's based on anime; it's based on a manga. But
Anime, you're based on manga.
yeah, but I can't say live action anime for something that isn't an anime.
Yeah.
But it has that feel to it.
Yeah.
And it's really fun, and it's the type of thing I would want to make, when I'm making things that people watch.
Anyway, that's our great marketing pitch for Alice in Borderland. I bet you definitely want to watch it now.
Oh, definitely. And it's gonna make our bank accounts nice and big, all the sponsorship money we got from them. We're not sponsored by Alice in Borderland, just in case there's some sort of legal issue for lying about being sponsored by something. I don't know.
Oh, that would be crazy.
Yeah, it would be. Thus,
Because I don't have any money to be sued for.
nah, bro. I know you're rich. It's fine.
No, I did.
Anything else you want to talk about that you've seen, or do you have more to discuss about Alice in Wonderland? I mean, Borderland.
No. I started watching The Flight Attendant, and that was absolutely bonkers. But I'll talk about that once I finish the show.
And yes, that is one that I have not seen at all.
Yeah, that one.
Because, yeah, I just didn't get to it. Sorry for interrupting you there for nothing. I'm a great co-host.
That one's great. That one, just in the first episode, looks like everyone in the production just had so much fun, including the editors. I love it when I'm watching something and it's like you can see the editors are having fun. Like the editors had fun putting this one together. I also like it when I'm a fan of high concept stories, but I like it when something that's seemingly normal is like completely elevated just purely by different kind of filmmaking techniques. You know, people who aren't really there being there, people being transported from A to B in their minds, just that kind of thing.
I have no idea what you're saying, but it sounds great.
What else? What else did we watch? We watched.
We watched the Lost Girls in Love Hotels or something, and that's all we're gonna say about that. I watched the first half of Dorohedoro finally.
All right.
That's a pretty wild anime. I think you would probably enjoy it as well. It's like the pit. It's like I don't know exactly. It's basically a different world, and then there's, what are they called? Do they call them magicians? No, sorcerers. Sorcerers who are basically humans with powers, but then they go to the pit where they like do tests on the humans and stuff there, and then they turn the one guy's head into a lizard head. And he needs to find the sorcerer who did that to him to kill him so that he can be reverted back to human again.
But lizard head sounds cool.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. And because he has a lizard head, like the other sorcerer's abilities don't work on him anymore. So I don't even know what he's complaining about.
He's gonna have to do. So if he, theoretically he could find the sorcerer. Kill the sorcerer, get reverted back, and then get cursed by another sorcerer and have to go on the same quest all over again.
Theoretically, that can happen, yes. But I think in story or in universe, it was a really powerful sorcerer who did that to him. I don't know. I'm only halfway there. Maybe I sound like a complete idiot to the people who've actually seen this show or finished the manga, because there's only like 13 episodes in the show so far.
All right. I feel like we watched another show recently.
WandaVision?
Yes, that's the one. And I was literally thinking about it before you started on Dora. Yeah, WandaVision. That's a damn good show too. And it's like just constantly evolving into the next thing.
And don't be like those people who just jump in from episode 4. Do yourself a favor and go from episode 1.
Yeah.
And just experience it.
I feel like
it's meant to be.
I feel like episode 3 is better if you've watched the first 2 episodes, because
Well, was it episode 3?
Yeah.
Was it episode 4?
It was episode 3.
Oh, never mind then. But yeah, it is a great show, and I really love the sitcoms, like sitcom style.
Yeah.
It's really funny actually.
It actually is really funny. It's like really well written. Like I genuinely find myself laughing at the dialogue that they've written there, which is pretty. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I don't know if you've actually seen any 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s sitcoms. From the stuff I've seen, they're usually not that funny. Pretty
dry.
I would say outdated. They've touched a little bit on it in WandaVision, you know, where someone, I can't remember who, pointed out that she in the show actually, but either way, that mentioned that she washes dishes in at least once every episode.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they mentioned it in the show. Like
there's
small things like that.
Yeah.
It's really well written, and it makes me really excited for Marvel's future, because I don't know about you, but I was this close nobody sees what I'm doing. I'm holding my two fingers really close together,
So
and it's
not
really
that close. I can still see through behind there. It's not that close. It's kind of.
It's like if
So you still had a little bit of bandwidth left.
there was a little bit, but yeah, I was really close to being burnt out on Marvel, just because it started being the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
And Thor Ragnarok showed us, it can be a bit more fun, bit more different, and
then Infinity War gave us our tip of the pyramid.
yeah,
Infinity War and Endgame.
yeah, I mean, the thing with Infinity War is what made it amazing is the culmination of everything. But honestly, I do not want to rewatch that movie.
I mean, all of the value a big portion of the value comes from, like you were saying, the culmination and seeing it for the first time.
Yes.
You don't know they're going to. I didn't know they were going to lose at the end of the movie.
Oh, yeah, true.
That's like a pretty big portion of it. Like, I did not expect them to lose.
Yeah, I expected them to not succeed yet, but I didn't think it would be a lose, because obviously we knew they planned a movie another one after that. But
that was straight up a loss.
Yeah.
You can't even deny.
And
it was a big loss.
Yeah, I thought it was, we're just not going to defeat him yet. Yeah. We need to still defeat him. But nah, it was an Thanos won.
Some pretty crazy stuff. But yeah, I was also feeling burnt out on Marvel after that. I was happy to have the year break. And I'm happy that what they've decided to come back with is some pretty interesting stuff.
Yeah, WandaVision. And it's so different that it just reinvigorated... that word didn't come out right. Reinvigorated me. And...
yeah. And Loki seems like it's going to be pretty interesting too.
But let's talk about Sam Raimi.
Sam Raimi.
I love that man.
I just rewatched. We all just rewatched Spider-Man.
We all. What? There's a third person?
We rewatched Spider-Man recently, and
yes, there is a third person, but he can't be with us ever. So
yeah, so he's not a third person.
Yeah, he might be in a future episode, like the episode 30 or something.
But what was I saying? I hadn't rewatched Spider-Man in probably.
This is now the Sam Raimi Spider-Man.
Yeah, this is the Sam Raimi one. And that is such a great movie. Wow. It is such an amazing movie. It's like, I think, I almost feel like I was fortunate enough to skip the entire period of time in which I would have thought the movie was stupid. I feel like if I had watched it when I was 18, I would have thought what is this? This isn't...
Yeah, man, you gotta love the camp.
Exactly, that's the thing. So as a kid, you kind of almost have no real gauge for that sort of thing. And you enjoy it, and then in that whole, period as you're getting into films, you kind of, I think for people who are really into films, there's always a period at the beginning, and some people never outgrow this, but there's a period where there's you have this intense snobbery about what a good film is and what you're allowed to enjoy. And I feel like I've outgrown that, and I'm actually able to again enjoy things that are just. And Spider-Man is a good movie, just anyway. Don't misunderstand. Spider-Man is a well done movie. Anyway, I just feel
it's just Sam Raimi's style is always it's grounded in camp. It's just the way he makes the movie is. Everything is just kind of silly, but in the best way possible.
Yeah.
You haven't seen any of the Evil Dead movies, but...
I've only seen the Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, I've been preaching about Evil Dead to this guy for so long, and he still doesn't want to watch it.
I'll probably never watch it if you keep preaching. You know how it goes. But yeah, I'll definitely watch Doctor Strange. There's no option. There's no option there. I'm looking forward to that.
That is most of what we've seen recently now.
Yeah, I think that's enough for now. We've seen a lot, but I think that's enough.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of other things. Don't think we don't watch things. Oh, no. No. We need to talk about this.
Of course you're going to bring this up.
We need to talk
of course.
about Cat in the Hat.
I didn't want to talk about Cat in the Hat because I actually want to do a deep dive on Cat in the Hat.
Okay. So look forward to a deep dive on Cat in the Hat.
That is an excellent movie that, again, I used to love as a kid, and we watched it recently, and that was a great film.
And it's surprisingly great. And
Yeah,
this is
and
not a joke. This is not a joke.
There's genuinely parts where it's like pretty funny. But look, I feel like that one needs to be in a conversation when we talk about surrealism in cinema, just in general. So
True. It's a surrealist masterpiece.
yeah,
Okay, and hey Sega,
yeah.
what do you think
About.
makes a great director?
I should be asking you that because it's a topic I came up with
no,
because you didn't come up with any topics.
No. It's
For the
my topic now.
podcast,
I stole it for myself.
The podcast, you said we have to start recording today. So I'm going to ask you,
Okay.
Willem, what do you think makes a great, good, decent, bad, terrible director?
Okay, well, I'm only going to answer one of those questions. You guys can decide which one that is. but yeah, I wrote down here just one word, and I feel like this one word has a lot of heft to it. It has a lot of meaning, and this word is charm.
Charm. Okay. Further.
Okay.
No, you have
I'm
to
done.
elaborate. Elaborate, man.
No, because think about it. If this guy is just like some sort of dick, nobody likes him. Do you think people will give him or her, actually, this person? Do you think they will just give this person money to make a movie and to direct a thing? No, you need to have charm.
I don't know, man. I watched the directors roundtable and Ridley Scott was there. He seemed like kind of a dick.
Yeah, but that's Ridley Scott. I'm talking about the modern day. Yeah, back in the day, you could get away with it.
But he's still
no
a
social
director now.
media.
he's still a director now, so.
Yeah, but he has that name recognition now. And also, he's allegedly a dick. I haven't seen him in the round table. So for me, I don't know yet.
You still think he's a swell guy?
Yeah, pretty swell guy. Pretty decent. Okay, and what I wrote here is they need to be sure of their vision.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
You can
because-
elaborate. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want a director to just kind of like, oh, what do we want here? I'm not really sure. What do we want with this? Make it like, say it kind of just kind of say the line. And yeah, you see, did you enjoy that? Do you know what I'm talking about? No, because I had no direction. I had no vision when I said those things. You need to be sure what you're making. Otherwise, you're not making anything.
How do you think that comes out to the audience? Because what you just said is basically a set perspective of what makes a good director. But
yes.
to the audience,
To the audience, well, a lot of times when the characters just don't seem defined, when you see when a good actor gives a bad performance.
oh yeah, that's bad direction.
Yes, that's bad direction. And yeah, basically, I'm of the mindset, and I will be proven wrong when I start actually directing like actual things, but I'm of the mindset you can direct anybody to give a good performance. But it needs to obviously be a certain type of character. Not everyone can portray a certain character, but I feel like every single person, you can write a role for them and direct them in a certain way so that they can give a believable performance. Even if they are a terrible actor, you just need to work around that.
Yeah. I think a great director's ability comes from their ability to work around basically everything. So like direction doesn't, in the case of directing an actor, it doesn't start with just making sure you're telling them the right thing to do on set. It comes from picking the correct actor in the first place, making sure you write it in a way that makes sense for the actor. When you cast your actor, rewrite if things need to be rewritten. And then when you get on set, having some kind of connection or understanding of how the actor works in order to get the necessary performance from them. And then in the editing room, then being able to cut around bad performances. But if you look at friggin' David Fincher, who will take like 40 something takes for even the most complex shots and then stitch together different shots together. And that's not like he's taking take one here and then cutting to take two. It's literally like take one and take two are at the same frame, and they're literally stenciled or masked out in front of each other. That's freaking insane.
Yeah, just to get that perfect performance.
Yeah.
And that's, honestly, that's too much effort. I don't think.
Hey man, I think a big part of it is just being willing. There's there are like thousands of decisions that go into making a film, and I think a big part of it is just being willing to put in that effort in every single department in order to actually get out the best result. I also think an important thing for a director from the set point of view is actually being able to have some kind of valuable contribution in every single department. If you're a director, I mean, look, you can be a director.
Honestly, I don't think I'll be able to do any contribution in the soundtrack department. I can say yes or no to the thing, obviously, and what type of soundtrack I want, but
you will be able to say, okay, here I want something that's too much. I want something that's lower and more subtle, because I don't want to lead the audience specifically to this specific emotion. Like, you will be able to give directions like that. That's what I mean.
Okay,
like, you are able to listen to music and pinpoint what you're feeling from that music. And you're going to be able to say to a composer, no, this is a little bit too this. Can we move more this way? But I do think that if you were able to say, hey, maybe we should do this on this note, or maybe, take just a little bit of space here, it would be more of an asset to you. But of course, not everyone is able to do that. I remember I was listening to Ludwig Göransson, might be butchering his name, I hope I'm not, talking about what it was like working with Christopher Nolan. And he was saying that when they were...
He just wants me to record it louder. I don't know why. Just louder. He said, no, not loud enough. Make it louder.
Yes. That's... wow, that was a pretty good impression of Ludwig. Wow. You listened to the interview too? Yeah. No, man. He was saying that when he was... That the process that he went through with Nolan was like a very close process. So like... But then also, when they were actually recording it, Nolan was there for a lot of the time, and there was even a time where like there was something off key, or something was just off beat somewhere. Nolan was the one who picked it up, and he was like, and Ludwig was like, "Is it here?" And Nolan was like, "Nah, actually, it might be here." And then that's where it actually was. So I just feel like, in some cases it is good to be able to like to have that say in all the different departments. Because at the end of the day, as a director, you are creating in one of the most complex forms of art, because
it's basically different forms of art
all come together,
into one.
It is the most. I'll actually say it's the most complex form of art, because no matter what you say, it is everything put into one. It's
because you can have. Literally every type of art form can be present in filmmaking.
Yeah, which is pretty crazy. And when you're putting together a film, when you're putting together a great film, you're more often than not you're you're cognizant of all of these factors and how they work together and how they all work together in order to like make a better story. I think that's something that a great director
basically like think of an orchestra as the movie and the conductor as the director, and if he doesn't tell all the people like, okay, this is what I want from you, this is what I want from you, then it just doesn't gel together.
Yeah.
Ooh, we got metaphors here.
Yeah.
And now we've talked about now it almost sounds like we said, oh no, he must rule with an iron fist, or she must rule with an iron fist.
No.
And that is exactly not it. Yes, because my next point over here is they need to be open for opinion and discussion as well, because it's happened to me a lot where I say I think we should go a certain way, and then someone just says, hey, what if I say this line instead, or what if we take it from this angle? And then I just think, hey, that is actually better than what I intended, so let's do it. Or if I think, that's not exactly what I want, but it might be good and we still have enough time, we can test that out.
Yeah.
and then a lot of times it works out better.
Yeah, with with filmmaking being as complex as it is, collaboration is always something that's gonna add to it instead of take away from it. It just obviously has to be done where it still speaks to that other point where you're saying where like the director still has to have direction. They must just be willing to collaborate in order to get to that place. That's where things are gonna work out. I mean, that's just in general with leadership. So, and director is a leadership position in this art form.
Yeah, and a lot of times I would have an idea, and then I would talk to you or the other guy, and then just in our discussion, new ways to show the things and new ways to tell the story would come up, and then I would alter my original idea just because of the discussions and basically our collaboration through talking to each other.
Yeah.
And I need to be open to the change and not be hard set in my ways.
Yeah, and always nice things come out of that. I mean, also in the cases where I was directing us as a group, it's like, oh wow, like so always really interesting things come out of that whole process of okay, let's try this instead. Let's do a little bit of improv here. Let's just throw something random in here, and that comes from the group.
And also never stop recording.
Yeah, that is definitely our fourth point for what makes a great director. Never stop recording. Always record.
Do you know how many of the greatest shots we've taken are when the scene is done, but we just keep the camera rolling for just a couple of seconds too long, just to get that awkward tension going. And then the actor would think, oh no, I need to do something more, and then start to improvise and just do wild things.
Great things always come of that.
Yeah, even if it isn't gonna make the final cut, it's entertaining.
Yeah, and that's another thing. It adds a little bit more fun on set also, because it's just like, what were you doing? Because the actors are always like, what were you doing? What did you want from me? And you're just like, no, I just wanted to see what you were going to do. And it adds a little bit of levity to set, even if it is like a serious scene or whatever, because you kind of, hey man, set is long hours, bruh. And you need that team spirit.
Yeah, we're not, oh man, forgot his name now. How great is that?
David Fincher.
Nah. Director for The Shining.
Oh, that guy who emotionally manipulated one of the actresses.
Yes. Stanley Kubrick. We're not Stanley Kubrick over here. We want the actors to have a fun time.
Yeah. That's pretty messed up, bro.
Allegedly. Emotionally. No.
Hey, man, anything for the shot. Hey.
Anything for the shot.
JK, I'm just joking.
But talking about everything or anything for the shot, have you seen any of the clips of terrible with the names today, the directors for the Crank?
Oh, no.
They are wild. They also directed the sequel to a Ghost Rider. Okay, but they were hampered by the producers, obviously. And they also directed Gamer. But
Mark Neveldine.
Yes, Neveldine and Taylor. Yes, Neveldine and Taylor is how they are usually credited when they work together. And you should watch some of the clips of them directing, and because they do a lot of the camera work as well. And they would go around on roller skates and friggin' go with the camera on roller skates and go around there and dangle on a bungee type thing that's on a vehicle, and then they would just swing around it to get the shot. They really go all out. And I would say that's probably another thing. Don't be scared to go all out.
Oh yeah, don't be scared to go all out.
But be scared if you do the things that Neveldine and Taylor do. I don't think you should.
Hey man, look at Tom Cruise. Look what he does for the shot, man.
Got a point.
Christopher Nolan buying planes to crash into buildings. David Fincher 47 takes.
Stanley Kubrick faking the moon landing.
What?
What?
No.
What? I mean, sorry.
Technical difficulties. Is that a rumor?
Yeah, because 2001: A Space Odyssey looked so realistic to everybody. They were like, "Oh no, Stanley Kubrick was the director of the moon landing," and he faked the whole thing.
Oh wow.
Oh yes, and this isn't really a point for a great director, but you've seen a lot, or you see that there's a lot of low budget movies and a lot of no budget movies and feature movies, and a lot of them are actually just people who started making the movie and ended up making, the Birdemics, the terrible movies. They are
The what?
Birdemic.
What's Birdemic?
It's a really, really bad, like a D movie. It's not even a B movie. That came out like early 2000s, but it looks like it came out in the 60s, and there's this terrible computer birds and it's apocalypse thing. It doesn't matter. What I'm saying is, it could be you directing that movie. Because, as we said, he made a movie. Did you?
Fair point.
And then to that point as well, in a more serious note, if you've seen any of one of my videos, Peter Jackson started out with basically, he didn't study filmmaking or anything like that. He just had a part-time job and started making his movie. The first one, Bad Taste was the name of the movie, and he just made it over weekends with his friends, and it was a huge success. And we should, or you listener should do it if you want to make a movie, or you're just like a fun loving person who wants to listen to two fun loving people talking about movies and being a good director, because I assume that's probably going to be most people listening to this.
Yeah.
So thank you for listening to this.
Wait, what was the point that you were making?
If you want to make a movie, you should start making a
movie.
movie.
Oh yeah, you did say it wasn't linked to the topic.
And yeah.
I'm still wondering, wait, where's the link to the topic?
Yeah, it's more, if you want it to be linked to the topic, it's a great director takes initiative.
Yeah.
I guess that can link it.
And a great director can do great things with very little budget.
Yeah, sorry that I laughed there.
Because I said great twice, huh?
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of Wes Anderson's Bottle Rocket and Christopher Nolan's Memento. And the one, whatever was before Memento. Why am I saying whatever? Insomnia. No, not Insomnia.
It was Insomnia.
No, that wasn't before Memento. It was...
Oh, no, Insomnia. Oh, it is almost Following.
Following, thank you.
And that was our first podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
Wait, there's still more, man.
Never mind, ladies and gentlemen. Are you sure there's more?
Do you think it's necessary for all directors to be decent writers?
Well, I mean, the word you used there is decent.
Oh, good
so,
writers. Good.
Yes.
Great writers.
Okay. Honestly, in what way do you mean writing? Like, in general, they should be able to write a good script? Or do you mean they should be eloquent, know how to form a story? Do you, all of the above?
I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I guess it's like the like, can you consider yourself in rap music, there's obviously a lot of people, the way rap works, unlike a lot of other music, is that people compare themselves to each other a lot more often than, say, in other genres, and that the competition is a lot more direct.
Nice pissing contest.
Sorry?
Pissing contest.
No, man, I'm not going to reduce it to that, but yeah.
Sorry that I have.
But, and in the rap community, if someone wants to call themselves the greatest rapper, they have to have written all of their own bars. Like, you can't have someone else write your stuff, and then you still want to claim to be the greatest rapper. You're just not, because you can't pen your own stuff. So do you think someone can be considered a great director if they're not an auteur, basically?
I would say you can still be an auteur without having written your own script.
Isn't that what it means?
No, because if you look at a lot of Stanley Kubrick's movies, he didn't write a lot of it, and he's considered an auteur. It's if you have your own, if you can implement your own vision in the story, if you can clearly have a voice in your movies, and or like Martin Scorsese, wouldn't you say he's an auteur?
I haven't watched enough of his movies. It says a film director who influences their film so much that they rank as their author, which I guess speaks to what you're saying.
So I guess to be able to go to that level where you influence the story, you need to
have some kind of writing ability.
Yes. So I would say you need to at least be a great maybe writer, but it doesn't have to be your thing. Like, you don't have to write scripts to be a great director.
Yeah, you probably definitely have to be able to see great writing, though.
Yeah. Unless you have like a agent who works for you, you just can direct the thing, but then someone else can say, okay, this is a good script, give it to him.
What? You see, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know if I want to call that person so great that they. I guess that also comes into what I was gonna bring up next, which is style and voice. I feel like a great director has some kind of distinct style of voice in their filmmaking.
You mean like Edgar Wright?
Ooh, yeah.
And Wes Anderson, of course.
Wes Anderson, Edgar Wright, Quentin Tarantino, David Fincher.
Christopher Nolan,
yeah. Christopher Nolan's style is, I feel like it's a lot more subtle.
But I sit down and watch a movie and it feels like a Christopher Nolan movie, is the thing. He just has that way where he just has a certain type of writing for the dialogue and the way he shoots the things. It's everything. And the way he incorporates the music, I joke a lot and say it's loud, but it is true. But the way, because it's so loud, everything just feels epic.
Yeah,
and
that's I think definitely when it comes to Christopher Nolan, that's a big part of it. I damn it, man, these flies.
We live in a clean household.
That everything feels epic, and then also I feel like in terms of technique, everything sort of feels excellently done also. I feel like it's a big part of his style. But then there's like Wes Anderson, who is distinct in every aspect of the
everything
film.
Is so framed.
A
bit definitely more in his later movies, because we watched Bottle Rocket. I watched Bottle Rocket for the first time recently. And it's still great, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't have that...
It doesn't have the same frame.
That picturesque Wes Anderson.
That's because I think budget has a lot to do with that.
Budget, yes. That is also what I was thinking, because he loves his pastel colors and everything kind of pops. Yeah. But you need budget to design your set like that.
But the thing that hasn't changed at all is his dialogue. Dialogue is the same throughout. It's so weird. I don't even know how to really describe it. I kind of would describe it as like a quirky, melancholy feel.
Yeah, that is exactly what I was about to say.
Yeah,
some sort of quirky, a depressed, quirky person.
yeah. Quirky, melancholy is the way I've come to describe it. But it's there throughout every single film in the filmography is like that.
And of course, I mentioned him first, so my favorite is Edgar Wright.
Oh,
and
that editors have fun when they work with Edgar Wright, bro. Yo, it looks like a fun film. Oh, I'm peeking, damn it. It looks like a fun film, to work on as an editor. I mean, just in general, but you can tell the editors are having fun.
Yeah, he always has these fun transitions and.
Oh, the transitions in Scott Pilgrim are just top tier.
It's the best. They just walk and then the camera switches and then they're at a different place, or just sweeping movements and no,
and it's just like every second, but it's still not too much, which is the part that's insane.
Yeah, Edgar Wright is my hero. And about the soundtrack thing you mentioned,
and Baby Driver,
because if rumors are to be believed now, I think it's not even rumors, but if I remember correctly, he basically chose a lot of the songs beforehand, because he's like, oh, this is a cool song to put a scene to, this is cool, and then he wrote the script around the songs. And obviously everything is according to the beat. That's the whole gimmick of the movie.
And the actors basically had to learn the rhythm of the songs, and they can't always play the song exactly as they're going. And films are shot in like little bits, so they basically have to like memorize some of the some of the pacing, and then obviously afterwards it's done. It's synchronized. It's a lot of effort, but like we were saying, like, it's in the little details that really make.
And then the actors of Baby Driver really want us to not enjoy
never
Baby
watch
Driver.
that movie again, right? Or never pay for watching that movie again. But Edgar still did so much.
I'm definitely gonna still watch the movie over and over again, because these two actors whose names shall not be mentioned on this cast. And of course his Blood and Ice Cream trilogy is some of the best work. It's Blood and Ice Cream trilogy. Blood and Ice Cream trilogy, more commonly known as the Three Flavors Cornetto trilogy, but I kind of like Blood and Ice Cream. It's just a fun name. But the Three Flavors Cornetto is a play on the three colors something. We need to watch those movies.
Yeah, one of these years.
Yeah, it's just when it's these big like where the big critics say, oh, this is now the film to watch, and especially if it's foreign as well, it's just so difficult to actually start watching that movie. I usually enjoy it, but it just almost feels intimidating to start watching these big movies, It's like, oh man, what if I don't actually enjoy this? What if it's boring? Oh man, am I...
Oh, I don't... And man, when I'm approaching Legends, I don't care. If that thing is boring, that thing is boring. I'll say it with my chest, bro. It's just difference of taste, man. Oh yeah, consistency. That is why, and I hate to say this, but M. Night can't be like just overtly pushed up in this list of great directors. It's just consistency, man.
Consistency.
And I hate to dog on people for trying something new, or for trying something out of the box, or really having fun with what they're making. That's not what I want to do. But we are talking about what makes a great director, like the cream of the crop, the absolute top of the field. And consistency definitely has to come into that.
Yeah, no, definitely. And
I think once you get to like 3 great features, 3 or 4, 5?
Well, depends on how many you've made.
Oh yeah.
As well.
Yeah. I mean, like at the beginning of a career, of a filmmaker's career, at what point can I say, okay, this is a great director? So like people.
Oh well, if we're talking about,
Thanks for that.
Yes, I just
for that peak.
You know me, I always peak. No, but like your Roger Eggers and your Denny, but I mean, but I mean now,
Chazelle and Barry Jenkins.
But I mean now, like young directors, like your Robert or Roger. I keep on forgetting Robert Eggers, and
is Denny
forgot
not
his
young?
name. What?
Is Denny not young?
I mean, really young. Like, I don't know actually how old Denny is. He's a bit older. He's like in his 40s or 50s, isn't he?
I don't know. How old is Robert Eggers?
I don't know, but I saw the picture of him and it looks like he's in his 30s. Him and the director for Midsummer, his name I forgot now.
Robert Eggers is 37.
Yeah, 30s. So he's still young. and he's made 2 movies now, 2 features, right?
The Witch, sorry,
The Witch
and The Lighthouse.
and Lighthouse. And you can immediately see
That's
that
got 3 in the works. Wow.
yeah, but he's one of those because you were saying like when can you say someone is a great director? And with him having only released 2 movies.
Oh, Ari Aster.
Ari Aster is the other one. Both of them, and it's always they're always mentioned in the same breath. I think because they are seen, especially by the younger generation, as the new voices in horror filmmaking. Like they are the top of the top for the new, and both of them have only made 2 feature movies, if I'm correct, and both of those are seen as some of the greatest movies made in their respective years. So I would say, even though they've only made 2 movies, I would already say they are like great directors. Some of the probably, I would argue, the greatest directors of this generation. I would argue. I mean, if we're not counting ourselves.
They're not in our generation, dude.
I mean, by our generation, I mean, you know what I mean.
No, they're in their generation and we're in ours.
Yeah, I say
There's a
our
10-year
generation.
difference
No,
between
I understand
us.
what you mean. I mean this generation, like in this time frame of the world. I mean,
So does that mean you're including like Tarantino and Nolan and...
yeah,
And Denis.
that's why I say I would argue.
Oh,
Like,
so you are saying
No,
that they're
I
there
say-
with them.
yeah, I say they are at that level. Yes.
Bold.
I mean, look at their movies. Do you?
I mean,
Can
I'm
you?
not a fan of horror, so I'm not gonna weigh in.
But you have seen
Oh,
one of both.
This was gonna be one of my next points, is versatility, but we'll talk about that just
But
now.
you've seen. But that's the thing as well. You have seen one of both of their movies,
Yeah, Midsommar was pretty good.
and Lighthouse.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, Lighthouse. Lighthouse is... I still don't know how I feel about Lighthouse. Dude.
Yeah, that's an interesting movie. That's also.
I don't when I'm rating movies that are... This isn't something I've actually thought through before, so I'm not actually gonna stand by the statement, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I was gonna say I don't really put surrealist films among, like, when I'm ranking them amongst other films. I kind of put surrealist films in like their own category because they are surrealist, and just because it's like how I feel like experimental art should be ranked somewhere else from like mainstream art. So I don't kind of put them in the same ranking.
Which is fair, I guess, in a way.
But I don't think that stands overall, because when you're ranking, when you're talking about how great a director is or how great their works is, you have to take everything into account. So.
And I would say the level of surrealism in The Lighthouse is light enough that it's not its identity. It's not the surrealist movie, The Lighthouse. It has surrealist elements, I would say, rather than being a surrealist movie.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's one of my favorites of its year. I forgot which year that was, 2019.
I don't know, man. Get your own facts.
Hey man, I don't want to click around.
Yeah, I don't know. I already moved off that page.
Okay, it's fine, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, the two directors that I was thinking about when I was bringing that up are Barry Jenkins and Damien Chazelle.
Who is Barry Jenkins again?
Directed Moonlight and If Beale Street Can Talk.
Oh yes.
Great. What? Untitled Lion King prequel. Oh,
Is that Jenkins?
yeah. Why?
Lion King prequel. So it's gonna be about
Mufasa.
that.
Maybe.
Might be
that
interesting.
might be kind of cool.
And it's him. It's a director you just now mentioned
Yeah.
as one of your favorites.
Yeah, but Jon Favreau is one of my favorite film creators too, and I did
Yeah,
not like Lion King at
But
all.
he is.
And it's literally the same property.
This property just goes around and messes with all your favorites.
Yeah, like
It's like, oh, you like this director?
here's a Lion King movie for them. Nah, dude, what? Okay, but anyway.
But at least it's an original story. Like, I mean,
Yes.
it's it's a new story rather than original, but it's a
Yeah.
new story. They're not adapting a thing, because speaking of unnecessary movies,
Yeah.
the Lion King live action remake, it's why can you call it live
No,
action?
You cannot call it a live action remake. You can call it a 3D animation remake.
Yeah,
That was not live action unless they're casting and training real animals. It's not live
And
action.
as we've said before, like doing that movie in a documentary style would have probably been not that
Be
good,
interesting.
but it would have been interesting, and it would have been different, and I would have probably seen it at the movies then.
You would have seen it at the movies.
I would have been too interested to see this thing that I didn't want to wait.
That would have been interesting if they did it that way. So my next point is versatility.
You had quite a few points, huh?
Yeah, dude. I mean, filmmaking, like we said, it's a very complex.
It
Very
is.
complex medium. I think versatility comes into play a little bit. I'm not saying that every director has to do every genre.
I mean, there comes that argument because of Wes Anderson, where he's so stuck in his style.
Yeah, so that this is part of also what I want to debate, because I would still say Wes Anderson is a great director, but all of his movies have this quirky melancholy. The stories are different.
But they have the same feel.
Yeah, exactly the same.
Exactly. And
It's actually pretty astounding. I don't know how you managed to do that. It's a talent on its own.
and someone could argue that makes him not great. He just is a one-trick pony. But then as well, it means that if you like what he does, you will like all of his things. So that's
Yeah,
also...
and you can't say that for a lot of directors.
Mm. So it makes it difficult. And a lot of Quentin Tarantino's movies also have kind of similar feel, but he changes it up here and there.
Yeah.
But usually when he changes it up, it's his more mixed response movies. Like the James Brown is a bit different.
The what?
James Brown, listen to me, saying the wrong one. So the James Brown is a singer. Jackie.
Oh, Jackie Brown.
Yeah, Jackie Brown is. And Death Proof. Death Proof is probably kind of similar. Both of those are still kind of similar in his normal style, but it's just a bit different, and just that slight change makes it almost seen as his worst movies by a lot of people. Frickin' fly landed on my microphone. So it is also difficult, I would say, because what if Wes Anderson decides to do something else and people don't like it? Or why I sounded somewhat excited there is what he should do is just a lot of different genres, but with his same style.
Yeah, like it's like Edgar Wright now doing a horror movie. Like that's gonna be like, I'm gonna watch that in the cinemas.
Yeah,
I need to see
what
that.
makes that interesting is he says, no, it's a straight up horror movie. It's not a horror comedy like Shaun of the Dead. It's a horror movie.
Yeah.
And I would argue that a lot of the techniques for comedy and horror are the same. It's just implemented in a different way, two sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
That classic spiel.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm really excited for it. As someone who loves both horror and comedy, Edgar Wright is really exciting.
Yeah, Wes Anderson horror movie would be interesting.
Yeah, and if he really goes for it, I want to see him really go for it. And just see because there's some videos on YouTube where people like make fake videos, parody videos. And even there, you can see there's something there.
Yes. Yeah.
So I really want to see if he actually does it. That's something I want to see.
Yeah.
I don't have much more to say about it. I just want to see it.
So what do you think? So what? So do directors have to be versatile to be great?
Not completely, because like we said, Wes Anderson, all of his movies feel the same, and I would still say he's great. And because he's perfected his style by such a degree, because if you go to his older movies, it's not perfected yet.
Yeah.
So then he worked on his style and worked on it, and he basically perfected it now. And maybe we'll go even further go even further beyond. And so I would still say he's great because he keeps on improving, actually.
So maybe what's more important is, I guess, a director being able to beat their own best works, or continuing to improve, going back to that consistency thing.
Yeah, like Martin Scorsese, he was in his 80s, I think, or 70s, late 70s or something, when he made Wolf of Wall Street.
Which is pretty great.
In his 70s, and some would argue that's one of his best, if not his best film, which he made in his 70s. So he just kept on improving. I mean, obviously, he made a Taxi Driver, and that when he was way younger. So a lot of people would say that's better than Wolf of Wall Street, of course. But what I mean is he kept up his high quality of work. So, yeah, I forgot my train of thought.
So pretty much excellence, obviously.
It sounds so stupid to say that, like, obviously, to be a great director, you just be great.
Just be great, guys.
Just
It's
be
so
great.
easy.
But I guess
Why
the
doesn't everybody
versatility
do
is nice, but it's not necessary.
And then also, I guess, in all of the cases, these people are telling different stories, dealing with slightly different themes, even if it is the same style and the same approach. You don't want it to have exactly the same story from the guy coming every single time. I don't think. Are there directors that do that and succeed? I haven't watched enough of Tim Burton stuff.
Oh no, they are wholly unique stories.
Okay.
They also, especially his later movies, just have a lot of the same style, but it's definitely unique stories. I mean, Edward Scissorhands, just look at clips of that. It's about a guy with scissor hands.
I mean, I meant like thematically, like, or do they deal with them?
I would say thematically as well, because his Alice in Wonderland is, Alice in Wonderland.
Oh yeah.
And
that was
and
him,
Charlie and
wasn't
the
it?
Chocolate Factory is Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and
Those are cool movies.
yeah, and Nightmare Before Christmas is that, like, it's, he's definitely, I won't say versatile. He definitely has different themes.
Yeah. Okay, my last point was impact. But impact is always such a difficult one to discuss, no matter what you're discussing, because it's so hard to trace exactly like what people drew from where and who was influenced from what. But I feel like in some cases you kind of like just know. So like Edgar Wright's editing style, I feel like you can see it in a lot of, and I don't know if this comes like I was saying, I don't know if this comes specifically from Edgar Wright, but that kind of editing style, I think it was also kind of implemented in David Fincher's Fight Club. You see a lot of it, that lot of like quick cut sort of thing between music videos and YouTube videos.
I would argue that maybe that's a coincidence, because isn't Fight Club like 1999 or 2001? It's very early, and that's also more or less the same time Edgar Wright started with his career. So I don't know if one of them influenced the other, or if it was something else. But I see your point, because maybe they were influenced by the same type of editing that was in a work prior to.
Exactly. And then you look at something like Taxi Driver, which so many people love, and I'm not gonna talk about what I think about the movie, but so many
You
people
love it, right?
And then
You gotta love it. If you love movies, you gotta love Taxi Driver, right?
Don't start with me and that DS. But I'm not gonna get into Taxi Driver. But what I will say is that you have, how many years later now, Joker comes out, and it's like it has such deep influence from Taxi Driver and that
King
other
of
one,
Comedy.
and King of Comedy, and so then like there it's like so obvious what Scorsese's influence is, like his way of doing things is still winning awards. I mean, I don't want to take that away from the Joker director, that he still
Oh, you
put
mean
together
the director
something.
of the Hangover
The
series?
You see, he did some good stuff too. Now, it's so funny that you actually bring that up, because the influence of The Hangover is
Oh, that's
so
huge.
definite.
That's
Almost
huge.
every TV show since has a hangover episode.
And-
It's insane.
And
the
I
type
would also argue that the movies, like the adult comedy, was basically revived because of that. Because before that, a lot of the movies that came out, the comedies, were PG-13 comedies. You know, like your Grown Ups and your those types of movies. And then The Hangover came out and showed, hey, look, adult-oriented comedies can do good.
Yeah, I
At
don't
the
know.
cinema. And then a lot of R-rated comedies came out as
I
well.
don't know how happy we should be about.
Oh, I'm not
but
saying
it's
I'm
an
happy
it's an
about it. I'm
undisputed
just
yeah
talking about
it's a great
impact.
point. Yeah, it's a great point.
Even if it did result in a lot of crappy movies, but
Which we're not going to name. You know, no name and shames here.
But rewind back to what we were saying before. What were we saying before? Oh, we were talking about impact, and I had another example, but it slipped away now.
Oh, yeah, their wrestling is okay, but I would say, oh, we're not talking about...
stop, bro.
Nah, bruh. Hangover. Oh, and Groundhog Day. You cannot deny the influence of friggin'. It's a genre at this point because
Yes,
so
and-
many movies have the loop thing going now.
Yep.
Willem and I have loop movie ideas
Yeah, loop-
that we're working on, dude.
It's
What?
basically, if Groundhog Day didn't happen, who can say... I mean, it's such an obvious idea, but it would it have been so great? Like, would they have made such a good movie that people would feel, we want to use this concept?
I feel like eventually someone would have, but
would.
Groundhog Day did. is
Yes,
what
that's
it
the
is.
thing. That is the thing.
Yeah.
Without that, it might not have been as big as it is. Who knows?
Yeah.
But it really... I mean, look at all of the things. Edge of Tomorrow, this new Panama Express Springs pineapples things.
Palm Springs.
Yes.
You're talking about the one with Andy Samberg.
Yes.
And
The
I
other
can't
person.
believe I'm forgetting her name. She's so great.
Damn it. Anyway, yeah, with them, that's a cool movie.
I
Got
haven't seen
nominated
it.
for a Golden Globe. I thought that was surprising. I did like the movie, but
And speaking of Groundhog Day, you watched it for the first time like a month or something ago.
yeah, I was really surprised that it was good.
Yeah, that was my that was my second time watching it. And yeah, it's just a great movie, great pacing,
Yeah.
really fun.
Yeah, it actually is. Yeah, I didn't expect it to. Yeah.
You expected it to work on old movie pacing.
Oh yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I expected it to do, and it didn't. It was actually pretty entertaining.
But I gotta say, I'm happy that I watched so many old movies in my time. In my time, I'm really old now as well. But it gave me a lot of patience, you know.
Oh, oh, did it?
Is that all of your points?
Oh, mass appeal. Oh, that's a tough one, hey? That's a tough one.
Because, like a lot of movies, you would think, oh, this is terrible, but then a lot of people watch it. You know, like Grown Ups has a very low critical score.
Yeah.
Like critics and all of your, let's call them film snobs and film people, they absolutely hate it. And
That's a funny movie.
and look at all of the people who watch it and enjoy it. And I'm not gonna say which camp I fall in. I didn't like it that
You
much.
don't like it? I haven't watched it
I-
since being an adult, but when I watched it when I was a teenager, I liked it.
I really enjoyed Grown Ups 1. Actually, let me rephrase that. I enjoyed Grown Ups 1, and then when Grown Ups 2 came out, I did not enjoy that one.
Oh, I'm talking about the first one. Yeah.
Yeah. I enjoyed it when it came out because I was like a little kid. I was like minus 6 years old. And
Why? It's just not that old. We were in high
I'm
school.
like, I think I was like grade 8 or 9.
I think you were, grade 8 or 9 is what.
Yeah. Back when when you don't have taste.
Yep, those years.
No, but speaking of like your Grown Ups, is the director of Grown Ups great? Because he
Oh well, he got me. because he has to have all those other things.
Yeah, but the thing is, this movie is really, really successful. Made a lot of money. And is very popular.
They have a bunch of other movies that are really successful.
I don't know. I actually don't even know who directed it.
Dennis Duggan is his name.
What else? Is he the prime director or main director for a lot of the new Adam Sandler comedies? Or
Grown Ups 2, Just Go With It, Happy Gilmore, Jack and Jill. This guy works with Adam. Don't Mess with the Zohan. Chuck and Larry, Benchwarmers. There's a lot of Adam Sandler here.
And what I'm saying is, look at the box office for a lot of those movies.
Probably a lot. I don't want to pull up that many tabs because I already have a bunch of.
Yeah, no. But what I mean, I don't mean literally do it. I mean, metaphorically look at it like a lot of them have done well.
27 million for Grown Ups.
Only 27 million.
Yeah.
Really? I thought Grown Ups was more successful.
41 million for Happy Gilmore.
Is this the budget or the box office?
Box office.
Oh, but what's the budget though?
I already closed those pages.
Okay. But either way.
9 for Jack and Jill. Let's see, just go with it. Just Go With It is rated 19% on Rotten Tomatoes, but it has a box office of 215 million. So you gotta, you know?
You see, you need that balance.
Yeah.
Where you make something that's critically acclaimed, but also does well at the box office. And what movies are that? Your Quentin Tarantino,
Christopher Nolan, Steven Spielberg, who we haven't mentioned this whole talk.
We haven't. Because he's an interesting one, because he's made a lot of the like big box office hits of long ago, but nowadays he doesn't like. What's the recent movies?
Didn't he make Ready Player One?
Yeah, he made Ready Player One.
Very disappointing.
But he made some new movies that are actually great as well. But the problem is he makes. I don't know what to think about like modern Steven Spielberg.
I think he already. I think at his point. I think also there's a point at which you've created enough great movies.
Oh, he's definitely top.
Yeah, that you
For
already
director, don't get me
It
wrong.
almost doesn't matter what you do past a certain point.
Yeah, and he is the richest director, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, look at his filmography.
Yeah.
What did he make? Jaws.
Schindler's List, E.T., Jurassic Park, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Saving Private Ryan.
Oh, Saving Private Ryan is one of his great new ones. Yeah, he made a lot of good recent ones. Never mind what I said earlier.
What? Saving Private Ryan? That's 1998, dude.
I thought it was mid-2000s. Never mind. Never
Catch
mind.
Me If You Can is 2002.
Lincoln is 2012. But I'm not looking on IMDb right now, so I don't actually know if this is direct. Oh, it is directed by him, yeah.
Yeah.
Minority Report, is that him?
Yeah, man. But yeah, Steven Spielberg's great.
Nice.
Yeah.
Minority Report. Wow. Okay, Steven.
Okay, Steven.
Bridge of Spies. Is that also him?
Oh yeah, Bridge of Spies I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
That's a great movie. Oh yeah, look at early Steven Spielberg. You know, the godfather of the blockbuster.
Yeah.
You know, Jaws.
And a pandemic movie.
What?
A pandemic movie, man.
It's not a pandemic.
I mean, it's not a pandemic, but I
It
remember
has that feel.
people were likening it to that because there were all these restrictions around. You can't go into the beach, and people knew that there was danger going into the water, but they still went into it anyway, and bad things happened, and then they went out and they'd go back in and be like, why are bad things continuing to happen?
Yeah. Okay. I guess it's an allegory for the modern
It's
times.
not an actual pandemic movie, but yeah.
But yeah, look at those movies, because they are seen as cinematic masterclasses, and also they had a lot of mass appeal.
Yeah.
So So, easy. Just be Steven Spielberg.
Simple. Why haven't we thought of that? We would have been rich by now.
So easy.
Damn.
So easy. So basic.
Easy.
We should just call him and ask him how.
I have him
how
on
to
speed
be
dial.
him.
Why didn't I ask him yet?
Let's call him. Bring him into the.
Okay, my phone isn't here.
I think that's pretty much. Yeah.
Wrap that up and call it a podcast.
Woo!
So, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for listening to our great podcast, the Those Guys podcast. The podcast that you can get on any podcast service, or can you? Where can we get it? We don't know yet. We haven't posted anything.
Yeah.
You have anything to add?
Thanks for listening. I'm Lesotho Tabane.
And I'm Willem van der Merwe.
And stay blessed.
And stay sweet.